What's up, everyone? So, one thing that I've realized is that business is expensive. Like, it's a very expensive thing. It requires a lot of cash. I've been doing a lot of, research on different businesses that got started, how they got started, all that stuff. And one thing that, 99% of all of them have in common, like all the really big businesses, is the fact that they all had funding. And when I saw that, I was like, why? Like, why would you want to have someone like actually invest into the business? Because then you lose equity in the business. And as someone who's working on a business, one of the worst things I could even imagine would be losing equity in the business because I think it's going to be so valuable. So I look at that and I'm like, why is this so common? Because there's other ways of having money, like, a bank loan or even like a person, like an actual like peer-to-peer loan, and like there's other ways to actually do it, and yet so many of these like major businesses, almost all of them, early on, they took on funding. And I've always wondered why. And then I started actually running ads for my business. For those of you who don't know, I run a financial education business. And I started running ads for it. And that's when I realized business takes a lot of money. Like, it actually, like, if you're running these ads to reach a large amount of people, which you have to do because only a certain amount of the people you actually reach respond to the ad, but to reach a large amount of people, you have to spend quite a bit. And yeah, it's expensive. Like that I feel like that's a big reason that so many companies, take on funding, because if you're trying to scale so quickly, like if you're trying to build something huge, it's almost impossible to actually do it to get that much money without selling off a pretty large chunk of the business. Because if you're advertising, let's say someone like me who's offering, like premium like investing services, like basically financial help, and I need to reach a certain amount of people to get a certain amount of people to subscribe to my services. And let's say my customer acquisition cost was $20. It's not, but let's just say it was for, argument's sake. So, if I just run $20, I get one customer, and I have one customer's paying for my paid services. But if you can raise a large amount of money and you can go ahead and spend a large amount of money advertising, then suddenly you have a lot more customers actually there, which means the business is basically doing well a lot faster. So not raising money just really slows down progress, which a lot of businesses just can't do. And I think about it from my perspective and what I'm trying to build. And honestly, it's hard without having, a lot of money. Like it's hard without being able to raise a lot of money for it. And maybe I will go down that road, maybe I won't. I'm not sure, but I definitely see the appeal of raising money. And it's definitely something that would be cool to do. Obviously, I don't want to sell equity because if you have $1 billion company, that's great. It's still great if you own 5%. But if you have $1 billion company, it'd be nice to have 100% of that business and not 5. But a lot of times you can't have the $1 billion company without giving up a huge amount of it because you need it to grow quickly. So I think about that too. I've spent a lot of different I've spent a lot of money on different Facebook ads trying to figure out like the best form of marketing. I mentioned the video before, but it's gonna be very interesting to actually see what works and what doesn't. And it does take a lot of money. Like I've had to spend a lot to actually reach a large amount of people. Like if I'm trying to get actual like links to the website itself, or get people to actually buy the paid services, it's a certain amount of money I have to spend to get that, and that's just the reality. And it's unfortunate that's the reality. So yeah, business is expensive. It's worth it, but it's expensive. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel.